I live today with 4 bullets that they cannot remove. They have attempted 10 times.
Yeah.
So 10 surgeries. I have one that sits next to my heart. It is the aorta, a bone, and bullet. I have one that sits next to my spine. My spine, a bone, and a bullet. One that sits next to my lung. One that sits in my kidneys. My kidneys have a mesh around it, keeping it together. Now, so for years, I had spasms and all of that. But now, I have no pain as it relates to my bullets. They can't remove them.
Right.
And they can't remove them because they sit next to vital organs. So they can't dig for them. So they have to stay. And I just have accepted that they're going to stay. So on November 11th, like I said, my life took a turn that I never saw was coming. Both their father, or my ex, and I were at the top of our field. You don't hear about professionals and domestic violence. You really don't hear about that. And that's the face I represent. You don't hear about people that are at the top of their field. Up to me, I can go no higher in my field, in certification, nor in degrees. I was the first African American to achieve National Board certification in the state of Georgia.
Yep.
And my mate was an assistant principal working on his doctorate. We own together a hair salon, a barbershop, restaurant, numerous rental properties, and we accomplished all of this in our early 30s. All of it. To others, we were the ideal power couple. Period. We mentored. People looked up to us. We were those professionals. But behind closed doors, I was miserable. Miserable. I don't know how we were able to do it. How you separate your personal from your professional. I don't understand. Because we were the same person. You know, I thought. But there is a way that you can separate your personal from your professional. And nothing we did personal interfered with what we were doing professional. We were winning on that end. Until I decided, because he decided to go left, I decided to stay the path and go right. I made a choice for myself that I could leave. I could leave. It does not have the face of regular abuse, because what you normally hear about is women that have been beat. Their husbands take care of them. They have nowhere to go because they have no finances. And so a honeymoon comes around, that little cycle where they say they're sorry, and then they're back around again. I had no scars. There was no beating of me like that. There was no beating like that. We did have, however, emotional and verbal abuse that was constant. But you would never think that that leads to anything. Period. I didn't fear him. He didn't fear me. And we kept doing what we had to do. We took care of our children. Excellent father. And you would never think that anything like that would happen until one morning we decided that we were going to divorce. Even that was okay. He moved out. We decided to sell the house. And we went on with our plans for our separate life, in which I had the choice to make. In the meantime, I decided with Dr. Hilliard to go to Africa. You're going to see how all this is going to come around. In Africa, I went and sat with the traditional priests, because I wanted to know, who do my people consider God to be before we were enslaved? Because that's the God I want to pray to. That's the one that I want to pray to. And he said, God is the omnipotent. I never forget it. The omnipresent. You don't need a church to know God. It's rhythms and patterns. In your life, look for rhythms and patterns So I looked for the patterns in my marriage to make sure that I was doing the right thing. And it was a negative pattern each time. So I knew that it was time for me to go. Well, while I was there and when I came back, it was one big argument that was, whatever I do, tell your God to help you get over it. And I just remember saying to myself, and I laugh about it now, you don't want to mess with my God. Because I traveled all the way to Africa to find out who God was. You don't want to mess with my God. I said, if you bother me or these children, you will self-destruct. Period. Period. And that was it. I didn't know what was to come, what was going to happen. If you told me that day he was going to come and just start shooting 6 times, I would say no. Nope. Did you think it was going to happen? No. If you asked me today if I thought it would happen, no. No. He came over to ask to speak about the girls because it was close to Christmas and we were breaking up lists. We did it every year around Thanksgiving. We would always go downstairs. They would write their list. We would split it up and we would have everything bought by Thanksgiving. Well, he came to discuss the list. So I said, go on. Thank God. He came around 10 or 5, and I woke up Ashley early because normally the girls didn't get up till about 5:30 after I cooked. I was preparing to cook. Yes, I cook. Breakfast. So I was preparing to cook when he came. So something said, wake up Ashley. Go on and get up, Ashley, because I'm going to go downstairs. Keep in mind, he didn't live with us. I'm going downstairs to talk to and go on and get up and get a lid of money up after you because I don't want to be late today. Well, when I walk downstairs, and I'm walking downstairs as normal with their list for us to split. But when I got downstairs, he said, your phone is in here. And I said, my phone? He took my cell phone. And I said, I know Ashley have snuck my phone downstairs in the middle of the night, talking on my phone. She was 16. I know she snuck my phone downstairs. Nothing in me thought, my phone not downstairs. My phone is in the kitchen where I plug it every morning. But come to find out, when I went across to wake up Ashley, he took the phone. So I went to get the phone thinking it was Ashley. When I got in there to get the phone, he pushed me. And I said, okay, that's going to get you up out of here. And I started dialing the 911. He took it and threw the phone and pushed me again. This time I lost my balance. So when I went back on the bed, what I looked up to was a glove and a gun. And he just started shooting. I didn't have time to prepare for that. I tried to inch up on the bed to call 911 because there was a phone sitting there next to the bed, and he walked around and he snatched the phone out the wall, went back to the end of the bed and kept shooting. And finally he was out of bullets. So Ashley heard the shots, thank God, and came downstairs and she just asked, did he shoot you? And I said, yes, I was trying to cover up the blood with the sheet. I said, go call 911. Well, back to Dr. Hilliard. When I went to Africa, we would buy up the books. Before we left Africa, Dr. Hilliard said, get the soil, put it in bags. That's what our people did when they were enslaved, so that you would have the soil. That was the last thing they would have. And get the seashells, gather the seashells, because that means listen to the ancestors. So I had bags and bags of it. And in my basement, it was a room. In that room was that soil, those shells, the books, and every day I would go down there and study about African spirituality, starting from the beginning, from the Book of the Dead to the Quran to all of them. I studied them all. So that was not the best place with the ancestors to try to kill me. I just believe that. That wasn't the best place for him, because in that basement I'm telling you, I was in my right mind. I got up. I heard him coming back down the steps. I got up, put myself up against the door so he couldn't come back in. A voice said, he's going to shoot through the door, just let go. And that's what I did. I just let go. And when I let go, he stumbled in and I ran out. And I could not remember if I ran up the steps or out the basement. Asher said I ran up the steps. But when I was running, I was saying this prayer. And the prayer was, God, you're not going to take me over nothing like this. If you're going to take me because I lived out my purpose. But don't take me over nothing like this. Because I have 3 girls, and I want to be here to raise them. Now, just in case that prayer didn't make it to the upper room, I had another plan B, snitch. So I was running to tell the neighbors who shot me. I knew the ambulance was coming. I didn't need them to get help. So I knocked on the door and I just said, such shot me because I'm divorcing him, and I took off to the next house. Because I remember this story, and I don't watch the news often, of this doctor that killed his wife and had him and the children